Alrighty then, guys, so this is part one of hopefully only 2 parts on how to organize your genealogy and all that paper and data that you've gathered up. So there are 3 different basic ways on how to organize your genealogy. These are the most popular ways. It does not mean that there aren't other ways to do it. It's just that these are the ways that I'm going to go over today. So the 3 ways are file folders, binders, or computers. And they all are very useful in their own different way. And it's really up to you to pick which one or which combination of which ones you like, or to modify the methods in a way that works for you, because the entire point of organizing your genealogy is to make it so that it's more easily accessible to you, so that you can find the information that you need when you need it. So it doesn't matter if these ways don't work for you, that's fine. Keep looking for new ways or modify these ways to make them work for you, because if it doesn't work, then it's not doing its purpose. So first I'm going to go into the advantages and disadvantages of each type of organizational method. So I'm going to start with filing systems. The advantages of which are that they are very inexpensive, they are portable, and they are very flexible and expandable. So as your genealogy research grows, it's very easy for it to expand, and it doesn't cause a lot of trouble with that. However, the disadvantage is that it can be very messy should you drop a file. It can be a big pain in the butt to have to put all those papers back in order and get that all fixed up. So, however, let's move on to binders. The advantages of binders are that they're very standardized, meaning that the paper is usually a regular size of 8.5 by 11 here in America. I don't know what it is in the rest of the world. I'm sure it's that too. They are also very portable, and they also keep things in a specific order, which is very nice if you're one of those people that needs that sort of thing. However, the disadvantage includes that it can be very hard to hold a lot of info. So unless you have 3-inch binders, which are a pain in the butt to search through, it can be very hard for them to expand. Alright, so let's move into the last one, which is computers, which a lot of people use this in conjunction with another method. Just because it saves space, it's easy to share with other people through the internet, through email. It organizes the information for you, which is very, very convenient. However, the disadvantage is that technology is changing rapidly, and maybe in 5, 10, 15 years from now, whatever you saved it on, it won't be able to read on a new computer. And if you can't read it, then it's worthless because you can't get the information from it. Alright, so let's move on to the supplies you're going to need for your filing system, if you so choose to have one. And the first thing you're going to need is a filing cabinet or a bunch of file boxes with lids. And you're going to want to make sure that these are very sturdy and strong, and that they'll take a lot of wear and tear. If you got some money in the bank and you really want to make it last, try to find ones that are acid-free. Now, you might have to go through a specific company in order to find it, or sometimes your regular office supply store will have it. Alright, so let's go into the next thing you're going to need, which is letter-size hanging file folders. Now, these are very convenient, and you can either go the cheap route and get the regular green ones, or you can get colored ones, which I'll explain later on why you may want to do that. And when you get these, you're going to prefer the large tabbed ones, because if you have a lot of information to write on that tab, it's a lot easier to fit. For example, my last name is 11 characters, and it's a pain in the butt to have to try to write it somewhere else on a teeny itty bitty little thing when it's 11 letters long. So it's a lot easier to put it on a big one. The next thing you're going to want to use are manila folders. You're going to want the ones that are reinforced at the top. However, it doesn't have to be, but it's great if it is, because they usually take a lot of wear and tear as you take them with you. The next thing you're going to want are pens. If you can, you've got some money in the bank, use some of those acid-free ones. You're going to want it to be permanent in black ink so that it's easy to read. Let's see. The next thing you're going to need are highlighters. You're going to want 4 colors at least if you're going to be color coding, which I'll explain later. However, if not, you're going to want them so that way you can highlight a specific individual or a specific event. And the last thing you're going to need are labels. And with those labels, you can get the fancy color-coded kinds, or you can get the regular white kind. You can write on them. You can use your word processor and print it out. Whatever works for you, however you want it, however formal or informal you want it, that's how it should be. Alright, so I'm going to give a quick note on color coding before I cut this video off and make the second part. And that is the fact that it's a great idea for very visual people. And the only difference is that you buy the supplies in either 4 or 8 colors. And the reason it's 4 or 8 colors is because you're going to follow either the 4 lines of your grandparents or the 8 lines of your great-grandparents. And the reason I say lines is because each grandparent has a different last name. Therefore, each grandparent is going to have their own line, so to speak. So that way it kind of gives you a quick overview of where you descend. So it doesn't matter what colors you choose, just as long as you stick with them. You don't want random colors everywhere. The general colors are blue, green, red or pink, and yellow, just because you can find them in highlighters, pens, you can print them out with labels, you can find file folders in that color. Some people go really crazy with the color coding. You can. You could also just highlight them like I did. That's how I decipher which line they're from. Alright then, so I think I'm going to cut it off right there so I don't run out of time. So tune into the next video so you can figure out all the other different methods.